Welcome back. This is Mike Ignello, and I'll ask this question. Do you know what time it is? Well, I can tell you, time is moving. The events of the world are moving ahead, and God's prophecy is being fulfilled. That's right, God's prophecy. You can listen to all the pundits you want, all the talking heads, all the political analogy. But I'm telling you, God's word be true, and every man a liar. I'm telling you, this is what just happened. The bombing of Iran all fits into Bible prophecy. It all fits into God's plan, and I'll get in it in just a minute. First of all, if you're living under a rock, you haven't heard that President Trump ordered the bombing of Iran. Now, right now, I know there's calls for his impeachment. That AOC said it was treasonous, and they're all big constitutionalists now. The left, the same ones that were very in favor and misusing the FBI and misusing the CIA and misusing the NSA and going after Trump at any cost for any reason and putting him in jail and ruining him forever. That was all okay. That wasn't unconstitutional. Okay. And, whatever they wanted to do, if the Constitution was in the way, they just did it. Like, how about Kamala running as the presidential candidate and never received a vote? But that was completely constitutional, wasn't it? Well, anyway, they're complaining. They're yelling. Schumer, it's unconstitutional. These great constitutionalists on the left. I'm sorry for being so cynical, but I'm sick. I'm sick to my gut. I'm sick and tired of them with their lies. Look, let me give you a little history. First of all, the bombing was the bombing of Iran. This is the largest state sponsor of terrorism, of murder, of mayhem in the entire world. They're not just a regional threat, they're a global threat. They have sponsored death and destruction all over the entire world. They're Iran. Their proxies have killed thousands. They've maimed and killed hundreds of soldiers for America in Iraq. Look, they are a brutal, suicidal, genocidal nation. That's the long and short of it. If they got the atomic bomb, well, only God knows what would have happened. So, anyway, it was the right call to stop them. But of course, it plays in to prophecy. We'll get there in a minute. Okay, now, just real quick, give you a little history lesson. These great constitutionalists that are decrying Trump for what he did, okay, they happen to be just peachy keen when Obama in 2011 it would be the same thing Trump did, ignoring the WPA, they say, the War Powers Act, did a big, massive military operation against Libya, against Gaddafi. The prior decade of that, he was helping us with terrorism. But now he ran out of favor and he was doing things they didn't like. So they bombed him with no congressional approval. That's Obama. Obama did this. And by the way, all they were stopping there was an internal war. He wasn't cooperating with the Arab Spring, as it was called at the time, another Obama sponsored event. But that was okay. No cry for impeachment, no cry against the Constitution. Oh, and another time, let's see. Oh yeah, 1998, Clinton he had a name too, Operation Infinite Reach. He bombed two different continents with cruise missiles, the Sudan and Afghanistan, without congressional approval. He used the military. He launched cruise missiles. He attacked nations. They weren't attacking us, but that was okay because it's Clinton and his cause was righteous. You hear me? You hear it? Look at, they have very selective enforcement because they are of the devil. I'm sorry. Your father's God or the devil. The Bible makes, no mistake about that. These people are demonically inspired, and this is what's happening. I'm not done though. Also, even President Thomas Jefferson, way back in the day, right? he went to war against the Barbary pirates, by the way, who were Muslim, just a side note, in the early part of the 19th century without congressional approval because they were bad guys and they were, harming our shipping and attacking our ships. But Clinton wasn't through. The next year after 1998, after bombing two different continents, Clinton also in 1999 ignored the 60-day limit on the war WPA and continued bombing in Kosovo. But that was righteous, wasn't it? We need to intervene in Kosovo. What was going on there was bad, and America needed to get involved. Now, that's another argument, but the point is, Clinton did it a couple times. Obama did it. They all did what Trump did, only Trump did it to the number one sponsor of terror in the world. In the world. That wasn't part of Kosovo. That wasn't part of Libya. But I don't see Sudan being a threat to the whole world. But you see, it's selective. They're liars and hypocrites. And all this bantering you're going to hear about impeachment, you have to stand up to it. If it's on your Facebook or on your any social platforms, you have to give them these numbers. Give them. Tell them Obama did it in 2011. Tell them Clinton did it in 1998 and 1999. Even Thomas Jefferson did it in the early 19th century. Stop all this. These thousands that are protesting in I guess New York, going against the sticking up for poor little Iran. They're a brutal, savage country. They're suicidal. They're nuts. Okay? They serve Satan. It's just that simple. Now look, these same thousands that are protesting, these far leftists, I wonder if they're the same ones that were polled not too long ago, a few months ago, and said 55% of them said, or 58%, that it was okay or somewhat okay to go after Trump by assassination to stop him. Because he's crazy and he's a Nazi and he's like Hitler. No, this is the rhetoric they use, and still using today. That's okay. Look, there's lots of untruth out there, and I'm trying to give you some truth. I'm giving you some real historic history, truthful history. That's what I always try to bring you on Do You Know What Time It Is? Okay, we'll go on. This dovetails into another subject. The brutal attacks on ICE agents. By the way, those attacks are up 500%. Antifa did a brutal attack on their headquarters. And look at, and they're being fueled. These attacks on ICE are being fueled by mayors and governors of California and other governors. They're being fueled by Democrats, elected officials that are in the sanctuary cities that are calling ICE agents the new modern day Gestapo and Nazis. And Trump's a Nazi and he's Hitler, our new Hitler. These are inflammatory, horrible things that put a bullseye on ICE agents and put a bullseye on Trump. By the way, some of the protesters actually had signs with bullseyes on Trump and Vance. That's okay with you? Is that a peaceful protest? Don't be lied to. There's nothing peaceful about any of their protests. These are planned attacks against America, not just the immigration issue. That's just what they're using for right now. So what's our call? What do we do about it? Well, how does it all fit? I'll bring it home now. This is all planned. God's involved in all this, whether you believe it or not. Look at Israel's weakening right now, and their attacks, and there'll be more, will only further them to drive them closer to Russia. It's already happening right before your eyes. I told you it would. There, Ezekiel 38 and 39, Iran, Russia, and Turkey, and some North African countries will get together, and they will attack or try to attack Israel. It's going to happen because the Bible said it's going to happen. I can guarantee you it's going to. All this has been predicted by the Bible. So this attack weakens Iran strengthens the relationship with Russia. This is all happening in front of your eyes. I hope you're ready to meet Jesus in the air because it's coming soon. The rapture of the church, believe me or not, up to you. But we're going to be caught in the air to meet Jesus. 1 Corinthians 15, okay, 1 Thessalonians 4, it goes on and on. There's all the scriptures. The windup of all things is at hand. So what's our job? Prayer. Prayer, saints. Use the most powerful weapon God gave you, prayer. Pray for the wisdom, okay, for our leaders. I think that's important. Pray for Israel. they're, they're still getting attacked. People are still dying. They've been a nation horribly affected in their economy. Pray for the Christians in Iran. That's right, for Iran. You know what? Some estimates say there's 2 million Christians in Iran. Think about this. With no structure of church, with no really established church, underground, people telling other people visions and dreams of Jesus to the Muslims. And they're getting saved. And there's possibly 2 million Christians in Iran. Pray for their protection. Pray for the evangelism going on in Iran right now. Yeah, pray. And pray for America because we're in there. Evil is now good and good is now evil. These people, these elected folks that are calling our federal agents that are simply enforcing the law. It's the law. They're not doing anything horrible. They're enforcing the law. And if you've seen the list of criminals, these are money laundering scheme, child trafficking, human trafficking, drugs, money, rape, murder. My goodness, the list is unbelievable. The people they're arresting and illegal aliens that shouldn't be here, that broke the law. These people are enforcing the laws of the United States and they're being demonized at every level. Evil is good and good is evil. Isaiah 5. We're here. We're here. But Christian, pray. Pray. And if you're not sure you're a Christian, man, make sure. Things are moving awful quick right now. They're moving very quickly. Make sure you're under the blood of Christ. Make sure you're a follower of Jesus Christ. Not, oh, I believe in God, or yeah, oh, I know Jesus. Not that casualness, but sold out, forgiven. You've repented deeply for all your sins, and you're following Christ with all your mind, heart, and soul. You're keeping his commandments. That's what the Bible calls for. He loves you if you keep your commandments. I'm telling you, it's a time for separation from the world and an embrace of holiness and seeking God's will and hearing his voice and knowing his voice. This is the time we'll need it more than ever. So pray, brothers and sisters, pray about all these things I've given you and pray for anything else you'd like to, but be in prayer, be powerful, and be a witness. Be a witness. Tell somebody about the good news of Christ. Time is running out. That's what time it is. We'll see you next time. And do you know what time it is? This is Mike Agnello along with my wife, Lisa Agnello, and we always covet your prayers. See you next time.